Nigeria's political scene continues to generate reaction, especially after the just concluded Osun State election. With the 2027 Oyo State election fast approaching, people continue to wonder if the same thing that happened in Osun State would happen in Oyo State. In this Vox Pop, we take to the streets to hear from the Oyo residents. What lessons can they learn from the Osun election, and what would the Oyo State election look like? Today we want to know what the voters think matters the most: party or candidate's popularity, campaign promises, or the power the people have to choose who they want. Let's dive in. Voters speak. Performance, money, or political structure. What really won it for Adeleke? The just concluded Osun State governorship election has once again brought the realities of Nigeria's electoral system into sharp focus. Beyond the figures and the final results, the election has generated conversations about voters' choice, political structures, alleged vote buying, electoral malpractice, and the influence of incumbency. But what did the people themselves make of the election? Village World Television took to the streets to hear directly from residents.
Well, it's very fine, and people are the people that decide for the election. The people have talked.
The election is quite okay, fair and fair election.
I think it went well, peaceful, and they say voice of God is voice of the people, or maybe vice versa. So I think this is one of the most credible elections I've witnessed in Nigeria.
For some residents, the outcome of the election was simply a reflection of the choice made by the electorate. They believe that despite controversies that often surround elections in Nigeria, the people still have the power to determine who governs them when they freely make their choices at the poll.
About the Mr. Adeleke, I think he really do deserve it, because the way his people were praising him, they want him to go for another one. I think he really did well the first time.
Olóṣèlú bá gbogbo wọn àtàdélékè àti Adeleke gbogbo wọn nǹkan náà ni wọ́n ṣùgbọ́n ìbò tí gbogbo èèyàn fẹ́, ibi tí gbogbo aráàlú fẹ́, ìbò tí aráàlú fẹ́ tọ́dẹ̀ ní tẹ́lẹ̀ sí ẹni tọ́dẹ̀ fẹ́ yàtọ̀ sí party, yàtọ̀ sí PDP, yàtọ̀ sí àkọọ́dù. Interest ló má ta ní òṣèlú, interest, personal interest ló ṣe pàtàkì. So Adeleke ẹni tí gbogbo aráyé ń fẹ́ ni òun ló jẹ́ kó reflect ìbò yẹn.
I think it's free and fair because the people have talked. Even the people, they cannot, when people talk, you can't rig. So when everybody is saying this is the person we are going to vote for, I don't think it's very easy for anybody to come and rig. It's free and fair, I think.
I think the present governor is doing so well, and should keep on doing the good things to Osun people.
But while some residents believe the results reflected the will of the people, questions remains about the conditions under which those choices were made. Vote buying and alleged electoral malpractice remain major concerns in Nigeria's democratic process. For one respondent, however, the solution goes beyond simply condemning vote buying or electoral malpractice. The argument is that meaningful change will only come when electoral institutions function effectively and the electorate itself becomes more conscious and determined to protect the integrity of its votes.
Vote buying, the only solution to vote buying is alleviation of poverty. Because the longer the people are being impoverished, the harder it is to curb vote buying. It is everywhere in the whole world, not only in Nigeria. Yeah, anywhere there is politics, you should expect bribery. We call it vote buying. That's the generic term, right? But it still falls under that name, corruption. It falls under corruption. So anywhere you see competition, anybody can do an undo to be favored. Even in the family, it is in the Bible. Esau and Jacob, where mother did something, now if you are a Christian, So there was vote buying too in the Bible.
That's a lot, honestly, because the country is corrupted far, far, far. So it starts with me, you, and individually we can solve the problem. Problem is that currently we know how economics is. So I can take the 50,000 from you, I can take the money from you, she can take it from you, but that doesn't mean we should sell our votes. Me in particular, I will collect the money and I will still vote for who I want. It's not only the leaders that are the problem. We are all the problem.
It's not good. It's not good at all. Like people come and get rice. And people have realized that if they collect your money, they will spend it and they will still vote for the person they want to vote for. So I think that is what is coming out now.
This raises an important question. How much responsibility lies with the institutions conducting election and how much rests with the voters themselves? For some residents, political popularity alone may no longer be enough to guarantee electoral victory. They argue that voters are increasingly paying attention to what candidates have done in office and what they believe such candidates can still deliver. But if voters are becoming more focused on performance and delivery, what role does money still play in influencing electoral choices?
àwa la máa kóra wa níjànú ìbò rírà yẹn ó bẹ̀rẹ̀ láti inú ilé gangan ìbò yẹn náà díẹ̀díẹ̀ náà la máa kásẹ̀ lé kò lè tán lẹ́ẹ̀kan náà dẹ̀yìn kìlẹ̀ gbóṣẹ̀ bẹ̀rẹ̀ ó ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ láti 1979 ló ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ 79.
As for me, I don't support giving money before you vote. I'm not supporting that. That is corruption.
Vote buying has remained one of the most controversial issues surrounding elections in Nigeria. Some residents see the growing influence of money as evidence of a political system in which elections risks becoming less about public service and more about financial interest.
It's a business. It's a business. No, you don't expect me to, put money somewhere before going to, being favored, and you don't want me to, amass my wealth back. It's an investment, it's a strategy. They play the game before winning the game.
So do you think if they had won, they would have actually done well in government?
Maybe and maybe not. But all I know is that anybody that wants to bring out his hard-earned money on something that is not certain to win, there is no certainty in political games. But for you to have been moved to say I want to invest my money in it, definitely you want to go and make business out of it. Those who that position really suit or befit, as I may say, may not really get there. So if you have believed that your money will take you there, definitely you are going there for a business.
The concern is that when politics becomes a business, the electorate may ultimately bear the cost through poor governance, misplaced priorities, and unfulfilled promises. But could financial inducements alone determine who wins an election? The response suggests otherwise. For some residents, receiving money during an election does not necessarily mean that the recipient will vote for the person who offered it, nor does it guarantee that such candidate will perform well in office. For many, the real test begins after the votes have been counted, when campaign promises must translate into policies, programs, and tangible results.
Problem is that currently we know how economics is. So I can take the 50,000 from you, I can take the money from you, she can take it from you, but that doesn't mean we should sell our votes. Me in particular, I will collect the money and I will still vote for who I want.
People have realized that if they collect your money, they will spend it and they will still vote for the person they want to vote for. So I think that is what is coming out now.
ẹni tó gbowó yẹn gangan òun ti ta ọjọ́ ọ̀la ọmọ yẹn gangan ẹni tó gbowó yẹn ẹbí gan fún ní 200,000 naira láàrin oṣù kan 200 naira á ti ná tán láàrin oṣù kan 200,000 tó gbà á ti ná tán.
So what could have influenced Governor Ademola Adeleke's victory? For some residents, the answer lies partly in his performance in office.
I think the present governor is doing so well, and should keep on doing the good things to Osun people.
ìwé ẹ̀ ní ìṣẹ̀bí òun máa ń jẹun pé láti day one láti rẹ̀ ó súnmọ́ àwọn ará ìlú dáadáa every weekend ló máa ń jáde apá mọ́tò ẹ̀dẹ̀ afẹsẹ̀ jáde.
About the Mr. Deleke, I think he really do deserve it because the way his people were praising him, they want him to go for another one. I think he really did well the first time.
The Osun election may therefore offer more than just a winner and a loser. It provides another opportunity to examine the relationship between voters, political candidates, and institutions responsible for protecting Nigeria's democratic process. Ultimately, the strength of any democracy depends on more than who wins an election. It depends on whether citizens are able to freely make their choices, whether those choices are protected, and whether elected leaders deliver on the mandates given to them. As Nigeria looks ahead to the future elections, one question remains: what lessons should the country take from Osun 2026? Victoria Wilson, Rulers World Television News.